Okay, so I've already put together two of them. This is a put together of the Vivosun DWC Recirculating Drip Hydroponic System. This right here. Got the 4-bucket system, and seems like pretty good quality stuff. And only thing I wish they would have given out is some of these air valve controls. They gave 4, but I would really like to be able to control both the air stone and the recirculating drip ring. But as it stands right now, I'm just going to hook that up to the recirculating drip ring and let the air stone create as much bubbles and at the bottom of that bucket as possible. But here's what I've changed it up just a little bit, in the fact that I put the one-way valves on closer to the bucket, as where if I need to go inside the tent, I can move these things around, and all I've got to do is have more air hose, because I want to keep my air pump elevated inside the grow tent. I've already put it together. Comes with a nice 8 output manifold. It's 25 liters a minute pump. Should be plenty for 4 buckets with air and drip rings. So I got 2 buckets together, and I've also put the manifold on the pump. But that's pretty easy. So we start off with, we got the kit comes with these lids with the 8-inch pot for your filler there. So I forgot what that's called, and I'm not going to edit this video, so I know what the stuff's called. I forgot. So first things first, right at the bottom you can see there's a little hole area cut out. It's right there. They say cut it out completely. I'm not cutting it out completely. I'm kind of just taking that center dot thing out of there, because I want to keep a nice tight fit for the tube that's going to go whip in there, so it doesn't just slide around in and out. So I'm just going ahead and cutting that little dot thing out of there. As you can see, I left the little tabs. What that does is it easily allows the tube in, but it holds it in place too. So it's not gonna go around, falling out and all that stuff. So it's everything's pretty much all the way put together for you too. I mean, they put the drip ring already together. They put some little holes in it. Let's see, where are they? There's one. See, it's hard to see these little holes. But yeah, there's a hole here, there. So they put some little holes in here for the drip ring. You just kind of turn it and clip it in. I do like these connectors. They are they're very sturdy. So so that's the first step, is put the pot together. Second step, let me get the bucket over here. So at first, when I first opened the box, I pulled out one bag of the clay, and I'm like, okay, well that's great for one pot. And I thought, well, okay, just one of those companies that say, you know, count 16 of them and use it. You know, that doesn't work that way. Until I took the first bucket out and realized they had bags of clay in every single bucket. So Vivosun did a good job there as far as giving us enough clay. So then the next step is to attach. Oh yeah, shoot! Sure, I don't know which one it was. So mental note: make sure I put the little ball in the tube. So anyway, they give us a water tube here. I do like the fact that it's blue, even though you're not outside getting real, unless you take these things outside, which why not? But mine are going to go here in the grow tent. I got a 4x4 grow tent here, and the light in there doesn't. I mean, it will turn the water green if you don't have a protected bucket and a colored tube. Now outside you definitely have to have a colored tube for a water tube, but nonetheless it's inside and does a good job. So you're going to need 4 of these little stopper deals. That the buckets already come pre-drilled, which is really good, and the fact that you know, they did it at a science. Basically, they put all 3 of your holes right here on top with the bottom one down here, and drilled the holes, figured out which stoppers you need, or what sleeves you need, and then they ship it all out to you. So put those down and go one at a time. These are they can be a little tough to insert. You just kind of got to really work it. I mean, but it does go on in there. So throw that one in there. You just kind of have to work it into the hole, and then yeah. See, this one's being a little bit of a problem. There we go. They will go eventually. I mean, they're a tight fit, which is good because you don't want water leaking all out, especially if you're doing an indoor tent grow. You don't want water coming out of your buckets, you know, out of every, you know, all the seals. So I did a recirculating system on some 5-gallon buckets, and I did some 1-inch recirculating pipe. Well, actually, it was 3/4, but that was a waste of money. I won't do them on the orange buckets from Home Depot anymore, or even black buckets from Home Depot. The larger the hole you put in the bottom of this thing, the harder it is to seal it. I mean, yeah, could I seal it with some industrial caulking? Yeah, I'm sure I could, but for the price, I think I spent $97 on this kit, which is 4 buckets, a pump, and all the equipment and hosing that you really need to do an indoor grow. You can't beat that price. I mean, you figure a Home Depot black bucket is not the same price as an orange bucket, for one. and the black buckets are more expensive, and you really do want the black. You don't want sunlight getting into it and clouding up your water and such. But let's move on here. And so they give us a little elbow that goes into the bottom here for the water tube. They go in pretty easily. You just kind of screw it on in, and it's a tight fit, so I don't think it's gonna leak. I haven't tested out the other two buckets yet, but with these tight fits, I think we're good. Then they give you a little clip. Line it up with the first one. Put it in that little grommet there. Get your water hose. And it just slips right into the fitting. Push it in. You need to give it a click. There we go. And if you do have to remove these things, they're a little tough. There's a little ring right here that you have to lift and push, and then you can pull the tube out. So it's like a compression fit, and which I like it. Seemed to do a good job. So then what I did next was I inserted, like I said, I cut the tubing a little bit shorter that's coming from the bucket. That way you're not limited to, I could put these things anywhere if I have to. I could unhook the two air hoses real quick, grab the bucket, take it outside. I don't have 8 feet of hose trailing behind me. I just got 2 feet coming off of the bucket here. So what I did was basically I took the hose and measured it basically from this one is for the air stone, so you definitely want it in and at the bottom of that bucket. So I went all the way to the far side, all the way up here, kind of stretched it across the bottom, found the hole right here, and then gave me about I don't know, a foot, and then just give it a cut. You can do the same thing with, now I cut it just slightly smaller for the drip ring, only because that tube doesn't go all the way down into the bottom of the bucket, and it's just a waste of tubing, having it just coiling, and sitting in the bottom of that bucket. Now I didn't cut it too much shorter, about 6 or 7 inches, and that was about it. So like I said, it's not a whole lot shorter, but it is a little bit. So so let's go with the long one first. There's the long one. Put that short one in the bucket. And what I'm doing is the second hole in from the water tube, I'm counting that to be my air stone hole. So they're the same on every single bucket. The middle hole is the air stone. Now this is a little difficult to probably, the most difficult part of the whole job is to get this in that grommet. I've come to just realize it's a tight fit. So I put a little bit of spit on it, try to get it in there, and as soon as I could feel that it's coming through the other side, and I tell you what, it's not a slippery slope. It's a tight fit. So then I went and got I got some pliers here, and excuse the rust on them, they were outside, but these are like lineman dikes. They're really flat at the front, so I could grab it And what I'm grabbing here on the inside of this bucket is I'm grabbing the little bit of hose that's coming in. You know, you really can't see it, but it's there. And once you got it, you can pull it. But as you can see, yeah, you really gotta. And then I just kind of pull it to where I get enough where the bottom of the tube is resting on the opposite side of the bottom of the bucket. That means that that air stone is going to just kind of be in the bottom of the bucket, anywhere in there, just kind of moving around, doing its air stone thing. Now, the one thing, I don't know, I guess I'll probably end up changing these out, but if that's all I have to change out as far as the air stones, I think Vivosun did a decent job. I think they cut back on cost here. Honestly, I think they could have gone with the 2-inch air stone, but you know, hey, so be it. So what you do is you just slip it on the end of this thing here, into that tube, pull some more hose in until it fits on the bottom of the bucket, on the opposite side bottom of the bucket. Again, pull a little more hose, and now it's there. So as you can see, I don't know, about 2 feet of extra hose. So then take the other hose, try to put it in the bottom of the bucket. Again, get it a little bit wet, and just shove it in that hole. This one is going to the drip ring, and I like the design of this. Come on, get in there. I had made or attempted to make a drip ring, and I was wondering what I was doing wrong, and it turns out I needed to have the top ring and the bottom suction tube larger than the air hose. I didn't realize that. So, but it doesn't have to be that much larger, just enough so that the volume that you're picking up is a little greater than the airflow coming in. It's like a jet. Well, not at all. Actually. Alright, I think I can grab it now with these pliers. Again, just grabbing the edge of the tube that's coming in the bucket from the grommet here. There we go. And so what I did with this one is I pulled enough tube so that it would touch the bottom of the bucket, just touch it, because as you can see, it's going to be going into this fitting, but the bottom of the bucket is about right here. So they want you to keep enough water in here all the time to keep things moving. So yeah, all you do is take this hose, and again, if you got to take it out of the fittings, there's a little gray inner fitting right here. As you can see, it does move. You got to activate that little gray fitting. Otherwise, these compression fittings, once they're on, they're on. So yeah, you can really see that it's on. Now, how this works is you got air coming in through here, and what it does is it basically, I don't know if it's if this application would be considered the Venturi effect, but just the same as if you spray water over a campfire or whatever, it's going to draw the smoke out, and you never actually have to put water in the whatever area. I learned that in the military, but yeah, it's going to draw the smoke. So what this does is it just draws the water up. Now it doesn't draw a full stream because it's got water in the tube and it's mixing with air, but the only outlet is right there. So it just bubbles on out. So, and there you have it. Bucket almost done. So now, like I did forget in the other bucket, which I won't forget in this one, they give you these little balls, which are really pretty cool to put in the water level tube. And stare right in that tube. There it goes. Now what I did next was, again, I used the it's an air regulator. Yes, that's what it is. I put it on the drip side. So, like I said, I always know that my second tube is for my my air stone. So what I did was, that way I know I've always got a in and out regulator. No, this is not necessarily a regulator. It's just it's a one way. And the way you can look, if you look at it, it really has no markings on it. So there you go. I picked the right side. So go on this side, nothing. So the air's got to come in through this side and go into the bucket, right? So you don't want any backflow. So this is a one-way valve, and yep, blow right into it. So then what next one I did was I took the other tube and let's see here, cut about, I don't know, 8 inches off of it. Boom, not that much. So I can put the air valve in. Throw the other tube that you just cut off on the other side of it. Again, now you got your 2 tubes here, and you're going to need another one-way air. Okay, so there we go. So air in. And that's the bucket system. Again, not a bad deal. And what's going to happen here is I'm going to set this air pump on a little or a little table in the inside of my my grow tent, keeping it off the ground. And I'm going to come off of each one of these outlets off of the manifold here into a bucket. Now, right now, I've only got 2 seedlings started. I tried to pop 4 seeds, and 2 of them popped. So when I put this air pump to it, all I'm going to do is I'm going to plug up 4 of these outlets here on the manifold. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to still tube everything to every bucket. It's just I'm going to pull the air tube off of the one way. I'm going to bend it and just terminate it. So it'll still be ready to go. All I got to do is take off and I'll probably use zip tie and just bend the tube so it doesn't allow air or much air, if any, to get through it, and which I think that'll do just fine. But I am going to start I'm going to try to start 2 more seeds. Hopefully get those to pop. But anyway, that's the Vivosun DWC Recirculating Drip Hydroponic System, 4-bucket system. Got 3 together. I'm gonna put the last one together here myself. And anyway, happy growing.